everybody. So, I don't know who picked this day to have this ribbon cutting for the Big Canoe Creek Nature Preserve. They must have looked at the Farmer's Almanac. What a beautiful day for a ribbon cutting. Welcome to the Big Canoe Creek Nature Preserve. This is 422 acres of forever wild property. We have it about 7.4 miles of trails. So we're blessed on this beautiful day. I'm Doug Morrison. I'm the City of Springville's Big Canoe Creek Nature Preserve manager. And, you know, this is a real special day for me. You'll hear about why, but also I got my family up here. My daughter Betsy drove up here from Spanish Fort with her granddaughters Camille, Cece, and Miriam. And my wife's here, and it's just a beautiful day for this. And my grandson William couldn't make it. He's on a freshman retreat. But these kids, they're wearing the volunteer tags because they actually volunteered and helped us on these trails. I took them hiking on these trails and wore them out. We're flagging trails. Listen, when you're doing that and you got a 5-year-old, I think Miriam was 5-year-old, don't take them deep into the woods unless you plan on carrying them back. So, listen, there's a long story. I've been told to keep this short, so I'm going to try to fumble through this as quick as I can. But this journey began a long time ago. I was part of a group called the Friends of Big Canoe Creek, and we formed the Friends of Big Canoe Creek in 2008. I'm going to talk a little bit about nature, love of nature, community, networking, perseverance, champions, partners, destiny, and gratitude. And I'm going to try to do it quickly. But this is how it all went down. Friends of Big Canoe Creek helped us. It was a bunch of citizens in our community that lived on or near the creek. And we cared about the creek. We wanted to learn more and more about our great biodiversity. You know, we're number 4 in the nation in our biodiversity. But we're number 1 in the nation for aquatic species. So our group learned about these special species, the Canoe Creek club shell and the tri-spot darter. The club shell is now on the Endangered Species Act, listed as endangered, and the tri-spot darter is threatened. And I know there's probably somebody out there going, oh gosh, there he goes again talking about the mussels and the darters, but that's just how we roll. And I care about those critters. They're part of God's ecosystem, and we're part of that too. The Friends was a great group that I was part of from 2008 to 2020. The people on the board back then were Vicki Wheeler, Sean Andrews, Laura McKenzie, Mike McKenzie, the late Charles Beecham, Jerry Tucker, Bill McTeer, and Larry Willingham. And these folks teamed together to learn more about the watershed. And we learned to network with others like the Fish and Wildlife, the Geological Survey of Alabama folks that are here today, and the Nature Conservancy. But this land was to be developed in 2008. And we heard about that, and then I guess the economy took a dive, and they scrapped their plans to develop. So we said, okay, well, we found out about a program called Forever Wild, and thank goodness we did. In 2009, we nominated this land to Forever Wild, and part of that process was to get it partners in this. So we were blessed enough to meet a lady named Wendy Jackson with the Freshwater Land Trust, and she helped us pitch this idea to former Mayor Butch Isley, who's here today. Thank you, Butch, and the Springville City Council. And then, Stan Bateman was commissioner back then in the St. Clair County Commission. She helped us pitch this idea of green space, a different type of economy for this area. And then we nominated the property to Forever Wild, but I told you that word perseverance. That's a key word because it was nominated in 2009, but it took us 9 years to make this a reality. In 2017, we were very fortunate. A fellow named Dean Goforth, who owns a homestead, him and his wife Terry own Homestead Hollow right down the road. Mayor Isley sent him our way to find out what he could do to help us. So we kept And when we nominated, there were all kinds of roadblocks and things, and he helped push it through. He introduced us to the St. Clair Economic Development Council, and between he and the council and the St. Clair County Commission and the City Council, well, we got it done. 2018, this property, this 422 acres, became the Forever Wild, the property of the Big Canoe Creek Nature Preserve. So big thank you to Dean Goforth and the St. Clair County Commission and Council. Once the land was purchased, we got some Butch Isley, the former Mayor Butch Isley, and former Park and Rec Director Ashley Hay applied for a grant for Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham that helped us design or pay and fund for this parking in the entrance. And we're very, very grateful to the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham. There are other partners and champions, and that word gratitude just keeps coming back to me. I'm so grateful for this, but we're grateful for that. A program like Forever Wild exists because you know what, they get land, and it comes back to us. They let people use the land that they buy, and they create nature preserves, and we're just grateful that we have this program. And they also, Forever Wild built some trails for us. That was a big surprise. A couple of years ago, maybe last year, they built almost 3.5 miles of trails for us. So this is a great asset or added addition. Not only getting the land, but then have them come in and build these trails for us is very, very great. It's hiking and biking trails. So we have hiking and biking trails, we have horse trails, and we have mountain biking trails. Now I want to introduce you to the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Commissioner Chris Blankenship.
Thank you. On behalf of my boss, Governor Kay Ivey, I am tickled to death to be here today. I tell you, I was in Guntersville this morning to cut a ribbon on a big eagle statue that we did at Guntersville State Park, and be down here this afternoon to dedicate this and cut a ribbon. That's a pretty good Friday when you can cut 2 ribbons in the same day, in 2 parts of the state. I'm really excited about this. I couldn't believe the crowd. That just shows how important this is to the community. When I up the 4-way stop and then trying to get through and come up the road, and I thought we were going to be further down the hill, and I realized no, it was just parking, and everybody was parking at the bottom of the hill because they were parked all the way up. It's sure is good to see quite a crowd. I had as the commissioner of the Department of Conservation, I get the honor of serving on as the chairman of the Forever Wild Board. Commissioner Barnett Lawley was commissioner before me, and had that same honor when he was commissioner. But of all the things I get to do as the commissioner, serving on Forever Wild is probably the thing that I enjoy the most, because we're doing just what this is. You're taking property and have the opportunity to buy it and set it aside for the people forever. This is a property that will be here with the trails and provide recreation and quality of life for this community from now on. And that is very personally rewarding to get to do that. When I got appointed commissioner in 2017, one of the first things pieces of property that we bought with Forever Wild when I was commissioner was this property back in 2018. I didn't have anything to do with it other than just vote yes. It was already through the whole process and was just ready to be purchased, but thankful to have some little small piece of involvement in that. And our staff, State Lands Director Patty McCurdy, Deputy Director Doug Deaton, and all of the other state land staff do a great job managing these Forever Wild properties all over the state. And as you can see, like this, it shows really how important this is to people around the state. It's good to be in the community today. When you talk about the biodiversity of Alabama, we really are blessed here with all the aquatic species, all the terrestrial species, and the mussels, the darters. I've learned a lot since I've been commissioner how important all those species are to our ecosystem here in Alabama, and having a place like this protected not only for recreation but also for all the different species in the area is so important. I tell you, we had the opportunity to go around the state and work with a lot of different mayors, county commissions, look at things that are important to different communities. everybody's trying to do economic development, trying to bring companies in, to bring families in, to grow their communities, their subdivision, and with subdivisions and people moving in, jobs. It is very rare to have a community like this that saw the potential for a place like this and really desired to set it aside for the people so that as their community grows, they can still have a place like this for the quality of life and have people for their citizens, which is the reason that people wanted to move to this part of the state, is how beautiful it is. So again, just appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. I can't wait to see how much this facility gets used over the next few years and continue to grow the trails and continue to make it better and better. But thank you very much.
Now, I want to talk about our Mayor Thomas. He's up next. Mayor Thomas, Dave Thomas of Springville, City of Springville. He, when he first came into office, he wanted to come see this nature preserve. So I took him around hiking, and he was taken aback. He was really, really thrilled with what this could be, and I think I know he shares this vision of what this can mean for this community and for this state, for St. Clair County. He not only did he get it, what it can be, but along the way, we got it in 2018. Every time they hired me in 2022, and roadblocks and issues and things we just had to deal with. He was a phone call away, and he helped me every time with situations to, Mayor, we got this bedrock to get through, and well, what do you need? And that was always what do you need? And he tended to those needs. I can't thank him enough for always being open and sharing his vision of what he wanted it to be, and listening to my side of the conservation things that he the mayor has a place on Little Canoe Creek, called our place, and so he's familiar with creek life, and he loves nature as much as I do. So I think he's just been really, really good for this town. He understands our goal to further educate the community about our incredible biodiversity and use the preserve. Where we want to bring in and we want to have this place where we can bring in outdoor classes and teach our kids more about our great biodiversity in this state. And he shares that vision, and I'm very, very appreciative of Mayor Thomas. Mayor, would you like to come up and talk?
Thank you, Doug. And honestly, you got into some of my comments, so I'll keep my comments even more brief. But yes, it's a fantastic opportunity, not only to protect our ecosystem here in Springville and along Big Canoe Creek, but to me and others, more importantly, is the conservation education. To educate our students and their parents, quite frankly, what it means to engage in nature conservation and share that knowledge and enthusiasm with the next generation. And to me, that's what is really most exciting about this project, is it's generational. It will outlive us all. And so I think it's a fantastic opportunity that was realized by the county commission, by the state, by the city, and just want to thank them for their vision to see what was possible. And quite frankly, we're only getting started. I want to thank everyone for being here. We had no idea what kind of crowd to expect. If this is any indication, on a Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I'm excited about what prospects we hold for weekends and during the week. This is fantastic, and it will be impactful not just for Springville, but for the whole county and the area. So thank you, Doug, for everything, for your passion for this project. And for those with the Friends of Big Canoe Creek and Mayor Isley and our city council, this is a really big deal, and glad to be here and appreciate being a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next up is Stan Bateman, Chairman of the St. Clair County Commission. When we first nominated this property to Forever Wild, Stan was one of those that went down to the board meetings wherever they were. Even Butch Isley, both. They'd go around to these board meetings to show their support. And uh, Stan he's quite the outdoor guy. If anybody knows Stan Bateman, he loves the outdoors. I took him out here when I met him when he came back in the office, and I took him out here on a hike. And it didn't start out to be a hike. I met him up there. I said, "Hey, you want to get in the side by side and go around and see this property?" He goes, "Well, how about we just take a hike?" I said, "Well, let me get my hiking stick." He goes, "Well, let me get mine." Man had a hiking stick in his car. He was ready to roll. He goes around in the woods, and man, that guy knows trees better than anybody I know. He was naming all kinds of pine. I didn't know there's so many different kinds of pine trees, but that guy knows the forest. And I tell you, he's you can tell when he talks about this place, and when I was just sharing our vision of what it could be, his excitement, it was genuine. And that Stan, I really appreciate you coming out and seeing this with me, and all the support from the county commission. And you've been a great supporter of this project, and I'd like you to come up and say a few words. Please welcome Stan Bateman.
I first got introduced to this property from a little different standpoint. I was the game warden here for, I don't know, 30-something years, and there's probably a lot of people here in this crowd that I know better by looking at the back of your head than I do actually your name. I can recognize you because usually you were running away from me. And one of my first experiences here, the guy was running away from me, and my partner went one way and I went another, and we cornered him. And he was this hardened criminal down here. Actually, was so hardened that everybody here knew him very well. It's Bob Woody. And Bob was down here with his raccoon dogs and having a big time, and we interrupted his good time, which is what game wardens do. That's what we're here for. And so I wrote him his ticket, and I don't believe that ticket ever even got out of the city limits of Springville. I know it didn't get to the court. So, but that goes way back. And then later on, getting involved with Doug and Charles Beecham. He's gone away from us now. Charles lived on up Canoe Creek, on the big Canoe Creek, and loved that area. Had a dairy up there, and I've sat in his right in the back of his dairy barn, waiting on night hunters to come around the Beecham's Loop, and so I've got a connection to this that's more than the connection of just the loving the outdoors. This is a special place to me, and I'm getting old, and it's just getting more special as the days go on. And let me mention, you got a lot of communities, and Commissioner Blankenship mentioned there's a lot of communities really concentrate on economic development. This is economic development. This is the ground level of economic development. You know, the biggest thing that's hindering economic development, not just in Alabama, but in most of the nation, the biggest thing hindering us in Alabama, we know for a fact, is workforce development. What's interfering with the workforce development? Work ethics, not work skills. The companies would hire people with good work ethic and teach them the skills. We're kind of missing the boat here. It's the work ethic. And if you can't get work ethics from being in organized groups that come out here and hike in the forest and join organizations such as the Junior Cattlemen's or the 4-H clubs in the schools, that's where those work ethics are created. If we wait till they get 18, 19 years old, we've almost lost that opportunity for work ethics. So to me, as chairman of the commission, it means something too. It means building up the real need for our economic development, and that is creating a workforce that wants to work. And this does that. Those of you just going to love it for the outdoors, but your young people in the background are just soaking it up. They're soaking up that work ethic. Get up early and go hiking. Get up early and go fishing. You don't have a fishing club in a high school that those kids hadn't been up before daylight before to go fishing. Not a one. And I grew up around Barnett Lawley. He was my commissioner of conservation way back yonder, and he was always active in the Ducks Unlimited and things like that. And he's kept us focused over there in the Pell City area. Wendy Jackson, that was so much a background to this. She's from up the road here. Doug Phillips, that I was in Leadership Alabama with, that headed up a famous TV show and had his dog. Y'all remember Doug Phillips had his dog go around with him? I brought Doug up here right after we did the Dothan trip, and it's just woods. But I'd been out here as a game warden. He said, "Let me see that." He's interested in the creek. Doug Phillips is a water quality man, and all of that ties together to show you how important this really is. It sounds almost like a spiritual message because it is. I'm telling you, this is what we need, and we need more of it. I see some folks from the Economic Development Council, and they know my passion for this particular level of getting our young people especially prepared for this. So I don't have a lot more time on this earth to be able to hiking in the woods. I think I've got one more trip to the Grand Tetons. I think last year I blew out a psychotic nerve going up to Mount LeConte in the Smoky Mountains. So I don't know where I've got another knot, but I'm going to try. So thank y'all for letting me be a part of this trip. And I've been blessed so much to have these folks in my life that's just been around me to make me feel good on days that otherwise I'd have felt bad. So thank you again, and thank you, Doug, for your perseverance. If there's one word that we're going to put on a sign out here somewhere, we're just going to say, Doug, perseverance. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Yeah, that gratitude, man. There's so many good people in this. Listen, one of the things that the mayor did when he came in, he suggested we form a 501c3 and we did, to help the city support this preserve. And we formed the Big Canoe Creek Preserve Partners. We've been raising funds that you'll see the evidence of that in a minute when I get to it. But I just want to recognize our board with the Big Canoe Creek Preserve Partners: Wendy Jackson, Candace Hill, Dean Goforth, Jimmy Stiles, Chip Martin, Cannon Lawley, Nick Ken, and Blair Goodgame. By the way, we have brochures. Anybody wants to take one? We got a website that you can see these maps up on the website, and we appreciate your support. And we've been getting support. We've been getting support from good donors. And right after I was hired, I guess the Trustful Tribune did an article. Terry, where are you? And a gentleman found me somehow, and he just called me. His name is, for the longest time with the partners, he was our anonymous donor. But I talked to him the other day, and I'm gonna tell you. He said I could talk about him. His name is G.T. Laborde. He said I got property nearby. I live somewhere else, but I got property nearby. I want to help you guys. Tell me what can we meet and just hear about it? And we did. And he goes, "What are your immediate needs?" And we just formed the partners. I said, "Well, we need a website. Check in the mail." Other things that came up along the way as we were going, because we started, once we got the property, we had work to do, right? Every time I needed something, there was another check. So I just want to thank you, GT Laborde, out loud, because that guy just stepped up constantly. So the partners formed, and then wow, it's like Field of Dreams. You build it, they will come. Look at it, y'all are here. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, they provided a nice donation that helped with that entrance you see down there. The entrance, by the way, I want to give a big shout out to Alabama Metal Arts. They did the signs, tracery stone and Sterling Ironworks for the gate. Then EBSCO, another good corporation that multiple generous donations. These picnic tables and the petway stations and the benches you see are a result of EBSCO's donations. So we're real thankful for our donors, but we got others. United Way of Central Alabama, Coosa Riverkeeper. We got local businesses: Kebco, Walmart, Lovejoy Realty, All American Ford. Bunch of individuals that just donate through our website. And listen, we get some of those monthly donations that that's something we count on. That's a good thing to have. So I love the monthly donations from our individuals. So I think there are a lot of individuals that really care about what we're doing here, and they want to help us support it. And I ask you to please help continue that. But we had to build this, and St. Clair County stepped up, and they started the dirt work and moving the dirt for the parking and entrance road. And we're very, very grateful for the St. Clair County Commission and Dan Dalkey, the county engineer that had this stuff up. And construction as it goes of the county, things would come up, and they could be here for a while, and then they go away, and they come back. But and nothing against that. That happens. They got priorities. They got things they have to do. But we had a gentleman contact me here in this area. His name is Granger Wade, and he's with Norris Paving. Sorry, I get a little emotional thinking about this man. He came up to me and says, I want to help out. And I said, okay, what do you mean? He goes, I got a crew. I'm a co-owner of Norris Paving. I can come out there and help you What do you need? He came up here, started moving. 2 weeks. 2 weeks he came out here with his crew and moved dirt. But not only did he move the dirt, he had a different vision of what we're planning here. And he says, we can do this and we do that. He made that parking area one level. But first, he did 2 weeks of in-kind work out here and didn't charge us a dime. Then he had this idea about this bioswale you see up there. And I said, well, okay, that's going to, we'll see if we can do that. And city council, we took it out. And listen, we had another champion. So that's Granger Wade, you're a champion, fella. But there's another guy, another champion that came up. He was on the planning and zoning with Joey Brigner. I don't know where you are, Joey, but you're right there. But he said, Doug, we want to help. I said, well, how can you help? He goes, well, I'm with Shoal Engineering, and I can help you with your master plan. He did it for nothing. But he also worked with Granger Wade, and he did all the drawings and stuff. Him and Granger worked great together for the grading and everything. We pitched the idea of the bioswale to the city council, and city council, thank you so much for allowing us to build that up there. Not only did we build it, but we filmed the building every step of the way. There should be a YouTube video about it soon, or a QR code that you can watch and understand how bioswales help stop the runoff and filter water with plants before it goes into the water table. Those are two great champions there that I just had to talk about. Granger, he almost obsessed more than me on this, and I didn't think that was at all possible, but he did. He lives right up the road. Him and his wife and 2 kids. He gets it, man. He cares about this place, and it's so good to have guys like that on your side. Then we had some other interesting, not interesting, but gosh, these volunteers these keep coming up. And so, well, my buddy Bo Jordan owns Jordan Payton. He says, I'll paint that gating for you and the info board sign up there. And I said, okay, I'll take it, Bo. Thank you. So, and then his daughter Heather helped us out volunteering. She just on her off days come up here and help me out here. Drexel Rayford, I got to mention Drexel. He's a park and rec liaison for the preserve, and he helped me and my sidekick Jake Tucker. He's a maintenance tech with me, and he's a blessing in and of itself. But he helped us with the info board down at the gate, and he's also been just great learning the trails. I think he may actually help us on the afternoon hike today. He might lead a hikers. But there, other folks, and it's just community, folks. These people in this community care, and they stepped up. Russell Tucker, where are you, Russell? How many times I have problems with my bobcat, and he just came out of nowhere and helped me out. And that's Jake's dad, by the way. So I want to thank my volunteers. We got a lot of them, but there's some that really stand out. I've already mentioned Heather Jordan. There's Jeremiah Banks, who lives nearby. He came out here many, many times. Lee Jeffrey. You guys, I don't know how many times you came out here, helped the plants, helped me spread hay when we planted the seed for the rye seed. I want to thank the City of Springville's Park and Rec staff, my boss, Rick Hopkins, for helping. He sent this crew out here, but his crew he's had them out here helping me many times before I was able to hire Jake. So thank you, Rick. You're a great person to work for, and I appreciate everything you've done to support this along the way. Fire Chief Harvey, he brought his crew out here to learn. Hey, what are we going to do if something happens to somebody? And I think they're actually going to do a wilderness rescue in April. I think there's going to be a helicopter landing here. Is that okay, Commissioner? Okay. Yeah. We'll work that out with you. And then Police Chief Walton, I appreciate it. His folks have been up here patrolling, making sure everything's good and safe. And then Earl Public Works, Earl Peoples and his crew, they've helped me out here. I've had the tracks come off the skid steer before when I was just a one-man show, and they come up here. He sends his guys out here to help, and they helped us out again today. The Springville's Park and Rec Board, thank you for your oversight and advice during this journey. You guys are special. You're volunteers like me. I was, but now I'm a hired employee. But the Springville Park and Rec Board is really special. The Springville City Council, I can't thank the council enough for all these years. Different councilmen, whatever. It's just it finally came to be, and they supported us every step of the way. So I appreciate the council. I want to say thank you to Brenda for on the Springville Senior Center for the food you prepared for our reception. Y'all dig into that stuff over there. So, ongoing vision, the mayor talked about education. We do want to really hone in on our outdoor education, and we're really blessed to have someone on our staff. I hope that can help us with that. That's Lucy Cleaver, who's a former educator, and I think she can help us lead the way to get something special here to develop for this preserve. Lucy's also working. I talked about the preserve partners. We got a fellow named Jimmy Stiles on that board. He's working with Lucy and I now. We're going to have a turkey calling expo out here March the 9th. This turkey calling expo is not to hunt turkeys. It's going to teach kids how to call turkeys. We're not going to hunt them. We're just going to have something to get the kids outdoors. Get them away from their TVs. Get them out here. And so that's March the 9th. And thank you, Lucy, for working with us so much. I think Lucy has superpowers. I believe that she really does. But anyway, Jake Tucker, the guy I hired a couple months ago, man, he is phenomenal. And thank goodness we got him when we did, because here we are at a ribbon cutting, and man, he can do miracles. And I really appreciate this. But finally, I want to thank my wife, Joni. 15 years, she's seen the ups and downs. She rode this thing along with me a long time. I love you. I think destiny has brought us here, honey. And we're finally here. So I think we're going to do a ribbon cutting. Yeah, that's what we're here for, a ribbon cutting. But first, I just want you folks to know that nature can inspire you. It inspired me, and I'm going to embarrass my wife right now, but I'm going to do this. About 12 years ago, I wrote a song called Get My Nature On. It goes like this. These four walls are closing in on me. I got to get outdoors, find serenity. Looking out the window, soon I will be free. I'm gonna get it on, get my nature on. So, on behalf of the City of Springville, St. Clair County, and Forever Wild, we invite you to the Big Canoe Creek Nature Preserve to get your nature on. Thank you.